This is a fantastic story, and one of the museum decided to sort of embrace some 2 years ago. And the reason for this was we got this Orion aircraft, and of course the Orion aircraft is also the connection with Tony Bullimore rescue, and then we enhanced and enlarged it to get a model of the HMS Adelaide. So a lot of homework went on basically, and I sort of contacted Task Force 72, who are a model ship making club. We ended up with a very good model of a frigate, very similar to the one here of the HMS Adelaide. And of course the Orion was here, and the main feature of this was about the rescue of Tony Bullimore, which was absolutely magnificent. And basically it was a combination, no rehearsals of course, never been done before, and of course the Navy and the Air Force got together in a very, very professional sort of manner and located Tony, who had left France in early January and was doing a single-handed yacht race around the world. And I think there was about 45 people on that same sort of round the world cruise sort of thing, or race, I should correct itself. And of course Tony picked the places of all to go down to the Antarctic and the Southern Oceans. And if anybody has seen any of these videos, it's a very, very testing situation. Never a friendly sort of thing. As Tony said, an average wave is 45 meters. The ones he was going to, anything from 45 to 100 meters. Probably a bit of exaggeration, I think, but essentially he got into trouble, and of course he lost his mast. He turned turtle and went upside down, and he spent the next 5 days inside his cabin, upside down in the bottom, or what was the top of the hull. Once Tony got himself organized inside the hull, he actually set off the emergency beacon. And it was very interesting because he was a very, what's the word for it, a sailor with vast experience. And he was actually turning his beacon off erratically now and again, so that anybody finding or hearing the beacon might come to the conclusion, as beacons should be consistent, by his act of turning it off, actually made people think, hopefully, that he was still alive. So the short story, the Orions went out from Edinburgh, and they had a 10-hour flight of some description just to get to there, and they only had about 2 hours rescue, or period to search for him, which they did. They found him, and of course the HMS Adelaide was on the way then, which by that time, a couple of days had passed, and it was a 2.5 day sail by the Adelaide, and not that it's ideal weather for a little frigate. So it would have been testing for all those guys within the frigate. And basically, they have duly arrived. Tony was not sure or aware of what was going on in any form or any way until he heard the banging on the hull. And basically, he took, and I don't know how he did it. Remember, he's been in this semi-submerged, freezing cold, virtually no food, water, and he basically dived in the water, down 4 meters and out. So it was an amazing sort of rescue, and somebody should watch this and make a movie out of it even, you know. So the reason, bringing back to our display, about 2 years ago, we sort of decided to expand our features and what we could offer the public, and we came up with the idea of a Navy display. Now this was very apt with Tony, the Orion, and the surveillance, but we decided to go a little bit more in depth in this, and we created the HMS Melbourne, which was, we've got the Story, we've got the Wessex, we've got the Venom, we've got the Ikara missile, so it was a perfect location for here. And down the track, this and the HMS Melbourne, it will actually be made and completed by the end of this year. So that'll be a major happening. We actually got John Ford, this painting here, he painted this. John Ford is a wonderful artist locally in Port Adelaide. So he did this, we did the preparation and the glass and the display sort of thing, and we'll do something very similar when we get to Melbourne. That will be part of, we've had the props and jets people who make model aircraft and whatever. They have already made the aircraft, so we will be online for later this year. So it'll be a wonderful display.